Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am your host, Vortex from MobileMusicPro.com, your home for mobile music production. And if you are new to the channel, what we do here is release weekly videos teaching people how to produce music on their iOS device. And in today's video, we'll be giving you our top 5 picks for this year's best AUV3 FX apps right after this. And remember folks, if you do enjoy this content, please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below. Now today's video is just the first of our Best of 2021 series where we'll be showcasing our favorite apps that were released this year. And as we mentioned on our brand new Mobile Music Roundtable podcast, the app releases have slowed down a little bit in recent times. We're just no longer getting hundreds of new FX apps each and every year, but what we are getting are apps that are more professional, refined, and feature-rich than ever before. Plus, we are getting a bunch of apps that are carrying over from the desktop pretty much one-to-one, which really helps showcase the power of the iPad in general. And finally, just a quick reminder that these are just our top 5 picks and we really want to hear from you. What were your favorite FX apps released this year? Definitely make sure to let us know in the comments below. Alright, and now with that intro aside, let's get started checking out these top 5 AUV3 FX apps for 2021. But first, real quick, we'd just like to offer our usual disclaimer here and that this video isn't a tutorial video for each and every one of these apps. Instead, we'd just like to quickly demo them to you and point out what we think makes them so special. Alright, now let's hop into these top 5 FX. Now what we have here is a quick small little project, a little 8-bar loop that I used to show off and showcase all 5 of these apps. This is going to be a rock-focused track here, so we are going to be using ToneStack Pro on a bunch of these instruments, including the lead, rhythm, and bass. So we're just going to quickly play you this loop real fast, and then get into the first of our top 5 FX apps. Alright, very cool. Now let's take a look at our first app here, and that is going to be ToneStack Pro. Let's make sure we are on the lead track here. Tap on ToneStack Pro, and we'll hide the list browser. Now ToneStack Pro features next generation DSP, a load of all new amps and effects, and seamless AUV3 implementation. And in fact, that is how we will be using the app today, is in the AUV3 mode. And ToneStack Pro was created by Yonex Software and is currently available for $19.99 in the App Store. And Yonex Software actually makes a bunch of different apps, so definitely make sure you check out that developer. Now, I'm definitely not a guitar player by any means or anything like that, but I am a bit of a keyboard player, and I love applying ToneStack on all of my virtual instruments, especially my virtual guitars. And we really do have to commend the developer here, Yonex Software, because they were one of the first guitar apps to support the AUV3 format, which of course is really, really cool. So thank you, Yonex, for helping to move the entire ecosystem forward. Now, as you can see here, we are using the slow phase preset, but there are a ton of different presets to choose from. These are just our favorites here. But if we look at the different categories here, Pro 1, Pro 2, Classics, and Classics 2, each one of these pretty much has at least 50 different presets. So over 50 presets per category, and there's 4 categories here. So a ton of different stuff to get you started. Now let's just run through a couple of reasons why I love this app so much. And the first thing, of course, is that it sounds pretty amazing. They have an amp or effect choice for pretty much anything or any type of sound that you'd want to create. For example, if we take a look at this guitar chain here, you can see how many different effects are inside of it. And we can browse this in high resolution by tapping on the actual preset here. And now we can slide left and right and see all of the different controls. And unlike some other guitar apps that let you do this, you can actually interact and edit these in real time. So for example, we can adjust the gain here right now if we'd like, or we can slide more to the left, maybe take a look at this Rock Maker 4X12 amp here, and let's move the microphone maybe a bit more to the center. So you just really have unparalleled control here. You can do anything that you'd like. The possibilities really become endless. And for those people out there that actually do play the guitar, there is a built-in tuner that you can just tap right here at the very top, and we can just tap on the C key. And of course that will read C. We can tap on the G, and that will read G perfectly there. And then we can close out of that by tapping anywhere here. And of course you can modify and change this preset and make it your own and customize it at any time. You can head right on up here to the Units button at the very top and begin browsing all of the different things that they have for you to choose from. And of course, as you can see, they have pretty much everything that you'd ever need, not just your standard amps and cabinets, but all sorts of distortion, filter, modulation, pitch, dynamics, acoustic, rotary, bass, and other utilities. So again, pretty much everything that you'd ever need here to create any type of sound that you can think of. And it's all nice and available for you right inside your DAW because it does support the AUV3 format. So now let's just run through a few presets real quick. Let's go to the lead guitar here, tap on ToneStack. And for that, it looks like we are using the slow phase preset for right now. So let's solo this and maybe change out these presets. Let's make sure we loop this, just the 8 bars, and let's hit play. At any rate, there is just a ton of different presets to choose from, and again, pretty much every single type of effect or compressor or modulation that you need, you can have inside of this app. And the next app that we'll be taking a look at today is Beef by Calium Audio, currently available for $9.99 in the App Store. And definitely make sure you check out Calium Audio because they have a ton of different apps that I use all the time, including the apps called Flux Mini and Schlap. Plus, all their plugins are available for desktop, and they have a bunch of different sample packs as well. So a ton of cool stuff there from Calium Audio. Now, Beef is a multi-effect audio plugin with a sole purpose to make your tracks sound beefy. It brings all the effects you need to create powerful sounds into one efficient and easy-to-use window. Now, basically, Beef is a lot like the sausage fattener app on the desktop. People use it all the time to beef up their bass, their synthesizers, and their drums. But this app actually has a lot more options than that one on the desktop does. So as you can see, we do have the app pulled up here, and right now we're using it on both our bass track and our drum track. So on the bass track here, we're using the Subwarmth preset. Now, very similar to that sausage fattener app on the desktop, you can just tap on the preset mode here and just worry about the mix. But if you do want to go more in depth, you can see there is a ton of different features here, including equalizer, noise, saturation, crush, shaping, and a limiter. Plus, there's a ton of great presets to choose from as well, such as bass, drums, mix, miscellaneous, and more. Now, if you do end up using this on drums, there's a bit of transient shaping here in the shaping section where you can adjust the attack and sustain. So just everything you need right here on this one screen. So now let's quickly audition this plugin. We'll start with it turned off, and then we'll hit play and then turn it on while it's playing. So it definitely warms up the lower frequencies there and gives it a bunch more punch. So now let's hear this plugin on our drums. So we'll go down to our drum track. Let's solo that and bring up our Beef plugin. For this track, we're just using the default preset, as you can see, and we turned up the drive a little bit. So nothing too spectacular on here, but still, it does some pretty amazing things. One thing I want you to notice in particular is what it does to the snare. It just gives it a ton more body and almost changes the sound entirely, pretty much night and day. So once again, we'll start with the plugin turned off, and we'll turn it on as it's playing. So let's hit play. Alright, so definitely a pretty big difference there. Hopefully you are wearing your headphones so you can really hear the details there. One of the things I really love about plugins like this is that they're hyper-focused on one specific use case. Once again, this plugin is working exactly as advertised and beefing up those drums. And the next app we have on the list is FabFilter's Timeless version 3, currently available for $24.99 in the App Store. Now, FabFilter Timeless 3 is a versatile, vintage-sounding tape delay, which will fully satisfy your everyday delay needs. And as you can see, we do have the app pulled up here, and just like all the FabFilter apps, it is absolutely beautiful. Currently, we're only using it in this project on the lead guitar. So what we're going to do is solo what we have right now, and then we'll hear it in the context of the mix, and then we'll check out this app a little bit further. So let's A/B this and start out with the plugin disabled. Alright, now as you can hear, that definitely adds a ton of extra vibe to this guitar. We are currently using the Crispy Vocal with BM preset. With just some slight modifications to the feedback, I increased that a little bit, and I increased the delay a little bit there. And if we tap on the preset browser, we can see in true FabFilter fashion, there is a ton of different presets, all nicely categorized for us. But what I think is the most fun is inside of modulation and special effects. So let's hear what some of these special effects sounds like real quick. There's just so many options in here to choose from. All of these have tons of modulation and just a ton of options for customization. If you've been producing for any amount of time at all, you probably know that FabFilter has some of the best plugins in the game. In fact, most of their plugins are considered industry standard. And just like the rest of the FabFilter plugins, the interface is absolutely beautiful and easy to use. There's really not much else to say about this delay plugin, except that it really can handle all your needs and add a bunch of extra flavor that you wouldn't get otherwise. Alright, and the next app on our list today is going to be Slow Machine by Bleece, currently available for $7.99 in the App Store. Now, thanks to 3 different yet complementary ways of manipulating time with creativity, Bleece Slow Machine can deepen any beat by completely or partially slowing down the audio signal. Now, this app is basically the halftime for iOS. Halftime by Cable Guys is of course an extremely popular app on the desktop in the hip-hop music genre. And so to showcase this app today, we will be using a hip-hop song as well. So real quick, just to describe the project, we have a kick, clap, snare, and hats track. In addition to that, we have a 808 and then a melody track. Now all the drums, including the kick, clap, snare, and 808, it will be coming from our Genesis sample pack, though the hats we got from a Cymatic sample pack. And then the melody is coming from our Midnight melody pack. Now before we go ahead and check out the Bleece app, let's just give this track a quick listen. Alright, very cool. Now what we're going to do is pull up our Bleece Slow Machine plugin. So we'll go to the melody track here at the very bottom. And then let's go ahead and activate Bleece Slow Machine. So we're just going to start off with the default preset here so you guys can hear what this sounds like. And because it's going to fundamentally change the vibe of this track so much, I'm actually going to enable a second snare track to go with that as well. Alright, now let's enable the plugin and the snare. And let's hit play. So as you can hear there, just a completely different vibe, almost a completely different track. Again, emulating that type of halftime style effect found on the desktop. Now let's go through a few presets so you guys can really hear what this does. So as you can hear there, it really does fundamentally change that melody in a bunch of different ways. Personally, my favorite presets are the default, Half-Life, and It's a Trap. And really, with just those three presets, I can fundamentally change any melody to the point to where you'll never be able to know where it originally came from. And just like the rest of the developers on today's list, Blease has a ton of different and amazing apps that you should go and check out. From effects to instruments, Blease pretty much has it all. So shout out to you, Blease. Thank you so much for all the amazing apps. And the final app on today's list is going to be Flytape 2 by MSX Audio, currently available for $5.99 in the App Store. Now this app is another one of those apps that I use all the time, especially when I'm producing in hip-hop style genres. As the description said, you can really add some authentic and grimy effects in here. The guys at MSX Audio are experts on distortion. And I mean pretty much every kind of distortion as well, but especially tape distortion. Adding these types of effects on top of your tracks really create the ear candy that separates the regular tracks from the more professional tracks. So if we do look at the interface here, you can see that you have the different effects including speed, saturation, mute, reverse, warble, lo-fi, break, and stutter. Now the ones I use the most by far are the lo-fi, break, and stutter. So let's give this app a listen and hit play. Alright, there you go. So that is pretty much how you use the app, applying these various effects at specific places. Using this app and its many effects really allows you to create a whole new vibe for your track. Alright, and now it's time again for our final thoughts. And if you are still rocking with us, then we just can't thank you enough for being here, and we especially can't thank those folks enough that are here every single Wednesday and Friday to watch our live streams and our live premieres. Now, though there were a few less apps released this year, it was still nevertheless a super tough call. But a big part of our criteria that's factored in is how much do we actually end up using these apps on a day-to-day basis. And plus, there is only 5 slots to go around, even though I know lots of other channels do top 10 or top 20 or even more. But we only have so much time to produce these videos each week, and really, there's only so many apps you can afford. I mean, I guess if you're rich, then that logic doesn't really apply. But hey, if you are rich, then definitely make sure to check out our brand new melody pack that we just released this week called Kingdoms. It's perfect for creating epic adventure scores for TV, movies, and video games. Both Doug from the Sound Test Room and myself are particularly proud of this pack, because it's not your normal genre-based pack that we release normally. And just like all the new premium packs that we release, this one will be 50% off for the first 2 weeks. And it will be back to normal pricing again on Monday, December 13th. So if you do want to support the channel, then definitely make sure to check out our store and see if there's something in there for you. And of course, we always have new content coming down the pipe, everything from giveaways, contests, new sample packs, and more. So if you want to keep up with everything that we're doing over here at the channel, definitely make sure to sign up for our completely free mailing list at MobileMusicPro.com. And so, until next time everybody, keep talking music, and we'll see you later. Hey everybody, Vortex here, and if you're not aware yet, we now have over 100 fully edited mobile music tutorial videos. And we make music every single Wednesday live on our channel right inside of Cubasis on our iPad. Plus, we also have a bunch of free sample packs, guides, and more at our website at MobileMusicPro.com/free. And so if you are into that sort of thing, producing music on your iPhone or iPad, then definitely make sure to subscribe and check out the rest of the videos on the channel that we know you'll love.